Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on 5 secret tips that every MPL member does not want you to know about deck building. Are you ready? Are you ready for secret tip number 1? The first is that this website, The Gatherer, the official search engine provided by Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering, that when you go to type historic in, doesn't even have it listed as a format. This website is garbage. Close it out, delete it from your browser, and never look at it again. Scryfall is a piece of Magic software that's written by fans and competent software developers and kept regularly up to date. Has an API, has a really powerful advanced search feature, has lots of great functions. It does not, by default, I don't believe, have a dark mode. So I'm pretty sure it blasts you with the brightness of 1,000 suns, but Dark Reader fixes that. So hopefully they do a dark mode at some point. I would like it if it had a dark mode. But anywho, basically the key to building decks is just like having a good search feature and knowing what you're looking for in your deck. So let's go to my decks. I'd like to make a new deck, please. Scryfall constructed. Is future standard an option? What's the extension to fix that? It's called Dark Reader. It works on basically all websites. It's how my Google Docs is currently dark here as well. You turn it off over here. This is also a all right, let's put that back on so everybody can thank their eyes. JP Miles, thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, what are we building first? Naya attack steps. This can equal Murasu Root Grazer. What does Root Grazer do? The person that submitted this says it could result in infinite combat steps. Let's see if that is true. Hey, Striker Wild, thank you for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You may put a basic land from your hand onto the battlefield. Tap this to return a basic land. That is not true. All right, I'm gonna hold this. Doesn't work. All right, we're going to DM the person that sent this in. Fun fact: Past Jeff doesn't always proof your combos that you sent me. So the second secret that every MPL member, third secret, I told you about Scryfall a second. The third secret that every MPL member does not want you to know is that if you are literate, Magic is much easier. So the thing that they thought was a combo with this that's not is Fury here explicitly only works, only triggers during your main phase. And this was likely to prevent combos with this, but almost assuredly to prevent it from comboing with, assuredly to prevent it from comboing with Uro. So these do not work. All right, blue-black rogues. That sounds great. Let's open a Scryfall window over here. Advanced search. And this is why Scryfall is the bee's knees. Legal in future standard, chat. Colors, blue, black. At most these colors. Type line. Rogue. Wow me with cards that are legal. What, did I spell it wrong? Oh, there's 2 Z's. That. You just see me fail to type things in real time. Acquisitions expert, probably an easy 4 of. Is it? Maybe. This is basically. This actually might not be good enough. This is basically chittering rats or ravenous rats, whatever it's called. They just card when it comes into play. Menace, Blackborn Rogue gets 3-0 as long as the opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. This is a land on the backside, right? So this is probably playable as a sum of because it's also a land. Let's start at 4 for now. Spirit Pilfer becomes untapped. You may pay 2 if you do draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. This card might be okay. You're on this as a low to the ground flash tempo deck. I don't know. Let's look at cards that look good and then go from there. I'm just looking. I'm scrolling through all of the rogues and adding ones to my deck that look maybe playable, and then we will go back and figure out what we have from there. Glasspool Mimic might be okay. Wind Robber deals combat damage to a player. That player mills a card. Sacrifice Wind Robber, draw a card, activate this ability only if they have 8 or more cards in their bin. This attacks, draw a card, not for 3 mana. Nighthawk Scavenger is a rogue. Rankle, easy in. This is the Lord, right? As long as opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, rogues you control get 1-0. Whenever 1 or more rogues you control attacks, each opponent mills 2 cards. This is like a self-enabling. Each opponent mills is 8 or more cards in their graveyard. This has 2-1 and Death Touch. Hey, T-Master Raid, thanks for keeping on with the tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Zulaport Duelist. Is that playable? Probably not. I think I'd rather have Wind Robber as... So this is 40 cards here at a glance, with these 2 being creature lands or spell lands. Yeah, I agree. Drown in the Locked is good. I can't mouse over these, right? I have to done editing to see it. Do I have enough flyers that I can play the Flying Mana Leak? Maybe. Acquisitions Expert probably isn't good enough with only Rogue. I think just letting them discard a card is probably not good enough. What's it called? Lofty Denial? All right, what's the blue black dual land called? Should probably just keep those up. Scryfall, Advanced Search, Rarity, Rare, Type Line, Land, Legal in Future Standard. So search this and leave it up for the night so we can remember. Clear Water Pathway. Probably just obligated to play 4 Temple of Deceit in my aggro deck, which sucks. Is Sultai Triumph better than Temple of Deceit? No, I don't think so. I think you want the scrying early. Is the ninjutsu dork worth playing? It could be. Anti-cognition. Let's look at what that card does. Counter target creature, planeswalker spell, unless controller pay 2s. If 8 or more cards in their graveyard, counter that spell, and then scry 2. They have 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Instead, counter that spell and they scry 2. So this turns into a hard counter. I don't know. I think I'd rather have Lofty Denial. I think maybe like I don't know. If I'm being completely honest, I don't like this deck's probably just a non-starter until they ban Uro anyways. It's like the sad reality. So I don't know. This deck mills insanely fast. I mean, if you have one of your enablers specifically, it mills quickly. Ninja Rogue lets you rebuy your borrower. That's cute. Hey, Kobe. Thank you for the sub gifties. Good evening. Hope you're staying safe out there wherever you're at. Let's start here. 18 lands, 8 spell lands. Oh, I probably speaking of spell lands. Not playing 4 copies of Awakening is wrong. I'm gonna cut 2 swamps. Probably 2 spells. Lockmere Serpent to counter Uro. Sounds like a good sideboard card. I don't think I want to play a card that clunky in the main. That's not even that good as a way to counter Uro either. All right, what are playable cards? What are playable cards that counter Uro? That like gets rid of is Cage rotating out? I don't think so. M20 it is. Oh, Cling to Dust. Cling to Dust is fine. Agonizing Remorse is a good answer. Cling to Dust is fine. There any other cards that like don't get you super far behind? Lantern of something, right? Soul Guide Lantern. The problem with Soul Guide Lantern is that it exiles their entire graveyard, which means you lose the bonuses from like your Drown in the Lock and stuff, which is not great. Stroke still legal? No, this is rotating. They need a future standard legality here. Aether Gust is rotating. Thank God. Thank the Lord. Aether Gust is rotating. All right, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Casting Epic Downfall after your opponent has drawn 2 cards and gains 6 life with their Uro probably means you're dead. Mystic Dispute's still legal, right? That's a good card. Kind of an okay Uro card too. Can counterspell it. Counterspelling Uro doesn't sound awful. It's a shame like Syncopate's not legal. Murderous Rider sounds good. Cage is rotating out. Is Disfigure still legal? M20, Disfigure's leaving. Yeah, what like cheap anti-aggro cards do we have? Oh, what's it called? The Eliminate is legal, right? Like that. I think we're gonna call that good. And remember, we're gonna be playing on the ladder tomorrow, so like we can make changes to decks in between games too. So we're just trying to get close enough to have a good place to start. Sounds great. Ancient Green Warden. That's the landfall card, right? How much am I dropping on packs tomorrow? We'll probably open about 150 packs. Usually enough. 150 packs might not be enough for this set because of the number of mythics that are required. Might need to open 250. Blood Chief's Thirst. Yeah, it's okay. I think I like Eliminate better on average a lot of the time. Or Ancient Green Warden. You may play lands from the graveyard. If a land entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger an additional time. Does this card let me play flip cards as lands from my graveyard? I basically have no wild cards, Niv. Yes. Okay, chat seems very confident on that. So all the flip cards is an easy... Let's start by doing an advanced search for future standard for landfall. What's the best Ancient Green Warden payoff in the format? Is it Felidar Retreat? It could be Mooring. It could be Felidar. Omnath? Omnath's pretty good, right? Gain 4, add mana, deal 4 to everything. Let's take a moment and not pretend like no, I promise you, Scryfall, that when I type 4 Uro, I do not mean Oruax. That is definitely not the card I intended. Good try though. A for effort. Probably just want like all the playable landfall cards in this deck. This is probably a Scut Swarm deck. I don't think I want to be in black. I guess this is my only red card so far. So I probably don't want that. I think I'd rather be in blue for Uro. I guess I could play Phalanx. Phylath here, the World Sculptor. I don't think I want the landfall aggro creatures. Like Hellhound, Brushfire Elemental, and Geopede. We're gonna play the Mammoth just because it doubles as a land. But I think the rest of these are probably fine. It's probably enough payoffs. Is it? It's mostly just Scut Swarm and Felidar Retreat, right? Grazer is still legal, right? No, it's not. That's rotating, right? That was War of the Spark. Nope, that was War. God bless. God, all the offensive cards came out of that set, huh? Good riddance. So long, farewell. I'll see you and good day. All right, there you go. Just get all of these mythics in here. Gotta pack your scoozes, yep. All the green decks are 4 scavenging oozes. I guess we could just skip playing Uro. We could not do the strictly correct thing, and we could skip playing Uro and be Naya to play things like lithoforming. Lithoforming is sweet, and Chad is interested in watching me lose, so sure, let's be Naya. Valakut Exploration is actually really good with playing these 8/7 mana cards, right? Is it Nahiri's lithoforming? Yeah, I'll put 2 of those. Couple of bone crusher giants sound playable. Let's take a look at the curve here. So we got Cobra, Skews, Bone Crusher for curve filler at the bottom. Does it interact with 8 mana cards? Yeah. At the beginning of the end step, if there are any cards you exiled with Valakut Exploration, put them in the graveyard, and then this deals damage equal to their converted mana cost to your opponent. Wait, put them in their opponent's graveyard, then deals that much damage. Oh, it doesn't do converted mana cost. It's just number of cards. Oh, I'm dumb. That's sad. Never mind. It's still a fine card to play. It's still a fine card to play, especially with Lithoforming. Listen, chat. Remember the third MPL tip that they didn't want you to know? I'm not in the MPL because I can't read. Come on now. Couple of those sound good just to clean up the board on occasion. Get some Elspeth Conquers Death in here. Again, just make sure we play a lot of good cards. He says before cutting Uro. Oh yeah, the red green legendary. What card is that? That's a good one. I have one of those in the deck queue. Oh, this deck has Ancient Green Warden in it too. Look at that. See, chat? I should have just galaxy brained it and copied this. That's a little different. A couple of different things going on here. We've got sweet white cards in our deck. Crag Crown Pathway. For Branch Loth Pathway. There's no Naya Triome. We have all three of our duels? That's sick. Love it. 12 always untapped duels, chat. Naya is the only 3-color combo that currently has 3 pathways. Nice. So we have 12 lands, and this is 12, 14, 18. So I have 30 lands in this deck technically if I count the spells. If we count the spells as lands. Right? I have 14 in the sorceries and then 4 in the creatures. Yeah, Flora Hedon's probably a card worth playing. It's obviously not what that card is called. Oh, it's in this other set, the deck that just looked at, right? Tangled Florahedon. Got it. Scryfall not letting me copy text nicely. For Florahedron. Got it. Yeah, this Magic's not a super wallet friendly game, chat. This set with all of these like mythics that you need is gonna be probably less consumer friendly. Probably less consumer friendly than even past Runeterra sets had been. Runeterra Magic sets. Alright, it's late. I'm still getting used to this being awake after being live after 7 o'clock. Red Cat Melee is still legal, right? That's not a thing. Yeah. 12 bolt lands in your deck with only scoozes for life gain seems very scary. I'm going to let you in on a dirty little secret, Tenton Hammer. You can put your bolt lands into play tapped. I just let Jeff play for me. It's much cheaper. God bless Death Apparatus. Thanks for the prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'll tell you my dirty little secret. Do 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 do. Who has to know? Do I have too many cards in my deck now? Where's the total on Scryfall? Questing Beast is still legal. Yeah, good call. Happy birthday, D20. $64 out of 75. Must have been over to start, huh? We're mostly just cutting things at random at this point. We just put all the Bone Crushers in the board. Put all the Scavenging Oozes in the main. Yeah, deck building's good. In general, I think deck building is one of the things Magic does better than all other card games. I have accepted a donation for Belcher and Legacy Look No Numbers. Let's wait and see how that goes next week before I say yes or no to Belcher and Modern. Need a couple more cards here for the board. What are cheap sweepers? Deafening Clarion's rotated, right? I guess I don't really want to play sweepers. My deck's got like Scavenging Ooze and stuff in it. It's the sideboard in the Green Lands deck. Does it have one? For land enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1. Yeah, that sounds good. In. See, chat, the easiest way to do your homework is to copy someone else. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to borrow from other people. 5 mana Nissa is gone. God bless us, everyone. 5 will no longer be conducting a war on Magic the Gathering. Is not Sulfuric Vortex a decent sideboard card? For an aggro deck, maybe. I don't think it's very good for, like, a mid-range ramp deck like what we're playing. She will live on in Historic. Thanks, Wiggles. Hey, what are we doing next? So the next couple were built already. So Jund and Boros Party. If you want these deck lists, these are specific decks that people have submitted. This deck queue is updating live on my website as I make updates here. Scut Swarm, Landfall. Do we want to build a different Scut Swarm deck than this? Because this is a Scut Swarm deck too. So, I don't know. I feel like that's probably an okay draft. Does Omnath build around? We have an Omnath build around. Let's do Omnath. Omnath might also end up closest to Green Warden. I guess maybe we don't have to go as big as Green Warden in the Omnath build. Let's start with Omnath, and I'll think on if we have a different idea for a different Scut Swarm deck, or if I want to merge that in. Sometimes I merge submissions together and add their points up if they both qualify. Blue Black Flash submission. Yeah, all of the deck submissions I have you can see here. So we've got oh, this is actually the last build around sitting in the queue. Sick. Omnath. Oh, is this the last one? No, I'm a liar. There should be one other, right? Blue Red Luca. Landfall Cleave. There at the bottom. It didn't get sorted up. Damn it, Google. There you go. It's supposed to auto sort every time I adjust the value, and sometimes the macro doesn't work. Inviction, thank you for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome. Lost in Space. Got your Amazon Prime hooked up successfully, mostly watching YouTube. Well, I appreciate you. Welcome to a live one, and thanks for dropping off that Prime support. I wouldn't be here without the support of folks like you, so thanks for keeping me employed. Glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff. For folks that are people that mostly watch on YouTube, if you're new to the channel, I often stream during the day. I've had to recently adjust my schedule because of my children doing remote learning, so I can help with their school stuff during the day. So while I am doing short morning streams still, you can expect to find me here live on Twitch every evening from about 7 p.m. Cornfield time to about 10 p.m. Cornfield time. It's currently 8:30-ish Cornfield time for reference. All right, Omnath. Omnath's the 4-color Darko, right? If I recall correctly. Parts of this deck build itself. So these are all easy includes. The auto includes feel like many. What's the green mythic land? Turn Timber Symbiosis. What's this Dorko called? Tangle, Fellahorn, Florahedron. Hey, Fox. For the Trundle bundle with the changes that we talked about. Sounds great for Entreat Trundle. I'll get that added. I appreciate the bits, Fox. Don't leave home without your skews. Gotta beat opposing arrows. Escape the Wilds. Yeah, that sounds good. Dryad. Yeah, Dryad of the Grove sounds good. It fixes our colors too. I probably need ways to not die, so Bone Crusher Giant sounds good. Couple of Genesis Ultimatums sound okay. I don't really have any spell lands at this point in the deck. So I probably need to cut one of my spells to put a bunch of lands in. We're out of spell slots, chat. Yorion, because you will find 80 playable cards. Yep. Yep, that's the line. Found the line. Shoutouts to Lacy Dog. Nailed it. Why cut a card when we could just play more, chat? Do y'all remember that time where they added a new mechanic called Companion, and then two of the Companion cards were too good, and instead of banning the two that were too good, they nerfed the mechanic altogether, making all of the Companions except the ones that were too good unplayable? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. These have like infinite pathways. Can I get one of your finest timeouts? Of course, Lost in Space. Well, I mean, our deck has Uro in it, so there is a strong possibility that could potentially be one of the best decks in Standard. For 4 Uro is a good start to that. Look at that. 75 cards already, and I've barely paused to think. I'm just like putting in auto includes basically. What's the obliterate called? Undo inversion. Elspeth Conquers Death should definitely be. Elder Gargoth, sure. Some Red Cap melee. Glass Casket's still legal, right? As far as like cheap Doomblades go. That's Eldraine, right? Feels like an Eldraine card. Yeah. What planeswalkers are still legal? Ooh, Heart of Fire's a good one. I have to remember her. Vivian Monsters Advocate. Vivian Monsters Advocate. Does that mean she advocates for the Republicans, chat? Is that what her title's trying to tell me? I don't know how I feel about that. Feel like it could be a mixed bag there. Don't insult the monsters. That's fair. That's fair. I would like to apologize to the actual magic monsters that I have offended by insinuating that they could be comparable to the GOP. 81 mean. Look at you, Twitch chat. 80 cards is fine, but 81 is where we draw the line. Alright. Sure. I guess. Do I want a sweeper? Like, my deck's got a lot of creatures in it, chat. I'm not sure that I really... We have standards. Lord Apollo, let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping it around. Just keeping it optimized. Oh, Magic's great. We're going to start making EDH content at this rate, right? So this is 33 lands, 35, 37, 41, 45. This is only 45 lands. Is that enough? I kind of feel like I probably need more than that, right? Hey, Niv, thanks for the tree fitty. My dashboard is not loaded. I apologize. Can I pay Tree Fitty for the extra card? Yes. 58 rares and 24 mythic wild cards. Yep. I kind of feel like I need to cut another spell for... I kind of feel like I'm supposed to cut another spell for another land spell split card. Anybody a wizard with Scryfall? Is there a way I can search just the land spell cards in here? Anybody know? Type land CMC greater than 0. Look at that. Scryfall's great, chat. Let's see if that works. All right, technically need to search future standard, but I think that did what we wanted. Almost did it. Legal future. Should just be future, not future standard. Nailed it. Whiskey Dingo, thanks for the tree fitty. Has a Loch Ness monster been in here again? It might just be Mammoth. Do I just like play Mammoth over like Bone Crusher Giant? I don't know. I kind of like having a scotch of interaction. Let's try here. If we feel like we need more lands, we can go back to it. I'm going to go ahead and call this... Let's call this done for now. Thanks for branching into deck building streams. It's fun to see the thought process. You select cards have some tiny percentage of Bezos as well. Thanks for the 18 months. Beard hug. I appreciate it. Welcome back. And thanks everybody for being here tonight. I know you could be in other channels watching other folks in the pre-release thing. That's something I don't have access to as someone who is blacklisted by Wizards of the Coast. Shout out to their eternal pettiness. So thanks for being here. Shout out to all my subs as always. Would not be around without you all. We're here for the MPL secrets. Exactly. Evening, Milo. All right, so type And again, just like, as you can see here, like, literally the entirety of my deck building sessions, like, this is what I do without the talking to myself when people send in build around submissions over the course of whatever. And honestly, doing evening streams more now, maybe we'll be able to fit in some other shorter segments like this and some of my evening things where I do prep stuff like this. You started on Moto, what's a few more spreadsheets? Fair. Future standard. Do a landfall search here for this one. All right, so landfall aggro. Let's start by putting in all the easy ones, huh? Evening, Niv. The stream lets me shout card names with lower risk of getting timed out. Yeah, I mean, some of the... I would also like to give a short shout out to chat that, like, this is twice in a row. We did this before the last set release, and chat has been actively helpful a number of times this evening, and I appreciate you. You have been well behaved, actively helpful, and I have not felt the desire to time anyone out personally, so thanks. Dwayne Lesnar, thanks for the quarter of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All right, so the auto include landfall aggro cards are these three. These are the one, two, three costs that are really good. And then what other landfall cards are worth playing? They want an Embercleave, so we'll include those. I probably want Questing Beast just because it's a good card. Rada, Lettuce Clears, Land with Tubber Deck. Yeah, it's probably fine. If I could ever learn to spell this card's name. Oh, I did spell it, right? Just didn't do it, huh? Bone Crusher Giant for Scavenging Ooze sounds good. I think Balakut Exploration is probably a sideboard card. We definitely want... I already had done the landfall search. What's our pathway called? Cragtown Pathway? Crag Crown Pathway? For Fabled Passage. Do we want red castles? So these lands not having card types actually make the castles a lot worse. Wayward Guide Beast. Let's take a look at that. My Chrome instance appears to be locking up here. That's lovely. Oh, Google memory leaks. I like the suggestion of Gem Razor. There's a card someone just said that I was going to look up and now I can't find it. What was the card I was going to look up before this? Wayward. Thank you. Oh, yeah, this card's terrible. That was not good, chat. Recovery might be okay. Lithoforming actually seemed like it could be sweet as like a escape shift style card. Is Lotus Cobra too greedy for this deck? I don't know that Lotus Cobra does anything. I guess we have some things that it ramps into. Not really, though, right? Like, if you look at the cards that I'm playing, like, Lotus Cobra's not ramping into anything, so it's greedy is not a good word to describe it. It just doesn't do anything that we need to do. Hey, I appreciate the Prime Max. Hope you're staying safe out there. We'll still be here whenever you have time to drop back around. Remember, you can always follow on YouTube as well at your own convenience. Crawling Barrens. A 2-color deck might be able to support Crawling Barrens. I'm in for trying creature lands in my deck. Inscription of Abundance. Could be an okay one. Let's get some basic lands in here for Fabled Passage. How does this look like? So this is 14 lands, 22 lands, 26 lands. So I probably want 2 lands for my last 2 cards here. Honestly, I probably want to cut a lithoforming and get 3 more lands in here. Fling's actually probably pretty good, huh? What if we play a couple of flings? Valakut Awakening could also just be great. Would you rather have Fling or Valakut Awakening? I think I'd rather have Fling, huh? It's pretty aggressive. Again, copying homework from other people. Oh, that was supposed to be Gem Razor. Yeah. It was supposed to be Gem Razor. I must have typoed it. I don't know. Completed as something else. Cinderclasm seems sweet. I think I like it. It's like a good, decent starting place. Cleave. Cleave seems like a great card to be playing to kill people to start. Clothis for Uro in the side. Yeah, it could be okay. I've got Scavenging Ooze here already, but more ways to kill Clothis the better, or kill that the better. I like that idea. Is Clothis the most underrated card in Standard? It seems appropriately rated. All right. I think before we call it a day, so we've done all of the build around submissions that we had. I think I would like to put something in the queue. I think I would like to try and build Where was he? I think Zagreus seems sweet. Mutate could be something to look at too down the line. I want to try something new though, a new card. Hey, Rad, you were the Naya submission, right? Your Naya combo doesn't work. So I don't know if you probably want to submit something else, but this combo doesn't work as submitted. I didn't catch that when you submitted it. Cajun guy, thanks for the 28 months. How about Mardu? I want to play this dork though. Actually, we don't have a dual land for this guy, do we? There's no red black duel, right? And the party land comes into play tapped. All right, my desire to try and build an aggro deck that doesn't have a dual land has left my body. It's no longer there. The feeling is past like bad guess. Like a fart in the wind, it is gone, chat. Thanks for making mana terrible, Wizards. I appreciate you. That was the one card that jumped out at me as like, oh, this card's kind of sweet. I wouldn't mind building around it. And then I was like, oh, wait, we don't have mana. And they gave us the other one tapped. Honestly, down for some crappy lands and lower power in standard. Bad mana doesn't mean lower power level. In fact, the things that have been really high power level in standard in recent memory had a bunch of tapped lands in them. Like, if anything, again, a lot of the issues in standard and even Magic and Historic in general recently, I think can largely be tied to the fact that like multicolor aggro just doesn't have good mana consistently. So I don't think I really feel like I've got a number of historic build arounds here waiting in the queue, but I'm not planning to play historic until Sunday at a minimum. So I'm going to wait to build those so I can play with some of the cards first and have a better idea of it there. As a general reminder, we've got the thing in the stream title, but coming up this Saturday is our next Hooklandia Open. So if you have a standard deck that you want to play, make sure you join this. Cool Stuff Inc. If you are a sub to my channel, it's only $6 to play. If you're not a sub, it's basically $11. You need to sub to the channel. Remember, if you have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every month with that. That Prime sub is good just as any other sub to join this tournament or anything else. Cool Stuff Inc. upped the store credit. So the store credit prizes in this tournament scale based on the number of people playing in it. So basically for about every $1 in entry fees this takes in, it's going to pay out $2 in Cool Stuff Inc. store credit. So everybody that gets at least 4 match wins is going to get something from there. And then first place is going to get $180 and some other goodies here with things scaling up based on how many wins you get in the event. And if you're not interested in playing or you're busy for parts of Saturday, make sure you tune in for coverage. We'll be having official coverage here. And if you haven't seen one of my open coverages before, we are just a small basement production, but it does look fairly polished. We have things like this where you can see both players' screens while they sideboard and while they mulligan, because why wouldn't you have that? You can see both players' hands during the matches. Yes, Corey Baumeister will be joining me as my co-commentator for the weekend, so I'm excited to have him out with me. No porn ads. I don't know about that. I might have to make an exception. I gotta step things up to keep up with the Mythic Invitational, chat. I gotta give Magic players what they've come to expect from Magic coverage. 20 months, that's about how long 2020 has been so far. I'll make sure there's no shortage of porn ads at the time shifted matches. Thanks, Glutz. I appreciate you. What happened with the Mythic Invitational? One of the competitors had a looking for